Okay, now you're going to take your outer housing, just set it back on a nice flat surface like that. And make sure you put this here back the way it belongs, with this outer lip piece sitting down like that. If you put it around like that, it's going to be in backwards. But yeah, like I say, that just drops down in there, and then you have all the little spring heads that go in these holes. So let's get, I've already got the one bag here opened up. There we go. Just be careful you don't lose these little guys. I'm just going to tell you right now, these things here aren't cheap. I think $120 per spring kit. And see, yeah, right there went $750. What was it? I think like $720 just for spring kits. I usually rebuild these about every other year, every 3 years approximately. Because if you get slipping quite a bit, like in green grass, you can end up breaking springs inside, and then your torque is dropping. Anyway, you got these bigger springs and you have these smaller springs. The small spring goes inside the big spring. They're the exact same length. Then you have, like I say, I call them a little button. It goes over top that. You can see how it's got a groove right there. And when you put these in, you want to make sure that this that groove is lined up to drop into that notch on this housing, just like that. So that's just going to go right into that bottom hole. And like I say, there's 3 rings. You got a ring around the bottom, a ring around the middle, and then a ring around the top. And to get them all in, they'll just sit there like that. Turn this around this way. Get one on the opposite side, that way it holds it flat. Same thing. Put your big spring into your button. Little spring goes inside the big spring, and then that's going to go in there just like that. And like I say, make sure that those grooves on the button head are lined up to fall into the groove of the outer housing. Okay, I'm going to get all these put in, and then I'll bring you back in. Okay, I now have all the springs and buttons here in on this first row going around. Now, your next question is probably going to be, how do you compress that? Well, thanks to Max Snyder, he showed me how to do that also. Get yourself a good heavy hose clamp. This one here is actually brand new. In fact, I would actually suggest using a new one each time, because generally this will end up ruining the hose clamp. Generally, not always. Put that around there. And just set that down there towards around these buttons. And like I say, once again, just make sure that all the little buttons are in line with the groove of the outer housing. And for the most part, these are going to be a 5/16 deal. Begin drawing that down. Something else I'll do, take a little bit of WD or something, come on, and kind of oil up that screw head right there. That'll help to keep that from wanting to chew those teeth out. And then just start tightening it down. Come on. Ratchet head's wanting to stick. And as you begin to pull this down, just make sure that that thing does not pop off there. Otherwise, you're going to have little buttons and stuff flying everywhere. Like I say, just begin to draw it down like that. And once you get pulled down far enough, you can just take and pop it right back down in that housing. Okay, we've drawn down some. Let's shoot her with a little bit more WD. Like I say, I made the mistake one time of doing this dry, and it kind of wanted to chew up those teeth around there. After I started putting WD onto it, that helped stop that. Or any kind of oil or something like that onto it. And you're just going to compress those down until they're about ready to fall in there. In fact, the outer side of the button, the low part of the button, when it gets down about flat with this housing piece, that's almost about right. Okay. In fact, sometimes if you spin it back and forth by hand, you can almost feel it. It's like they're kind of wanting to drop in. Gotta go just a little bit more. Wouldn't be a bad idea to also have a pair of safety glasses on in case something should fly. Okay, I can still feel just a little bit wanting to grab, but now this back side's wanting to tip in, which means the buttons are beginning to drop into the grooves. It's actually better to take and drop that spline into it, that way you can actually pound on the spline. Yeah, close, but not quite there yet. Give it a little bit more juice. Like I say, without a spline deal like that, I'm not exactly sure. In fact, I just happened to notice here laying on the bench, we have a PTO reducer. It goes from big 1000 to small 1000. That would actually work. The problem is, though, you can only drive through so far from the back side when you go to take it apart. So that is an idea. Okay, we're getting close for some reason. Unless the little button head is turned. Like I say, those little button heads, they will be pert near compressed almost flat into the holes by the time it's ready to drop in there. Hey, there it went. Okay, now we're in. You know, it's going to take and okay, now you saw the clamp pop. You're going to want to take and get that down in there to where those the first ring of buttons are just in. You can still see that the edge of them, but they're flat with the housing, and that's what you want. Now we're ready for the second, and then we'll be ready for the third ring. So I'll go ahead and put them in, and I won't take quite as long showing you on them because they're the exact same thing. Okay, I've already done the second ring. I'll show you here right quick again because they're all the same. Take a button, put a big spring in, and the little spring goes inside the big spring. That way it doubles it up and it plugs in. And you just go right around. I'll bring you back in when I'm ready to tighten it up. Alright, got the hose clamp on. Then we just start tightening, just like that. Okay, there we go. Let me get you up a little bit closer. Okay, you can see right here, like I say, you're going to get them compressed down to about right there. That way they can drop into that groove that runs up and down right here. So you sit back up on top of the vise and just take and knock it in. There we go. Okay, now that we got the thing, well, now that we got all the buttons in, and let me see here if I can take and set that spot or set that thing on something a little more solid. It's kind of bouncy right there on that wood platform. Okay, I just set it right back here. The vise has a little platform that you can set stuff on, hammer on, and so we're just going to take drive it in like that, then take and knock your spline back out. Come on. Gets kind of stuck in there. You gotta, yeah, maybe I'll take a knock thing back out of the way. But yeah, right there's the end of it, so you just pop it back through. Alright, next thing you want to do is take and put this plastic ring back in. Just set him right down there like that. Come on, get in there. There we go. Just make sure it seats in there all the way. Then you got your metal ring. Now when you go put these back together, wouldn't be a bad idea just go ahead and knock the dirt off them. I'm going to run out here and clean them up right quick. Okay, then you want to take your metal ring, drop it in like that. And same thing on your snap ring. Get your pliers, get it pulled down tight. Okay, and that's how you rebuild the clutch. Now it's ready to go back on the combine. Alright, we're back here on the combine, and just like taking it off, here's the clutch. It's just going to go back on there like that, get the teeth to mesh up. Yeah, went and shoved it in too far. Got to watch, otherwise you can't get your hands in there to be able to put the bolts in from the back. Okay, that's got the clutch on. Now we just got to get the bolt holes all lined up. Okay, I got your mount on the side of the throat. The best way to get the holes lined up is to take and go ahead and put your bolt in back here, and then turn the pulley. When you do that, you'll feel the bolt drop into the hole of the clutch. When it does that, you know you're lined up. Okay, on that one right there, I am going to take and put actually on all 4 bolts. I'm going to take and put a little bit, not much, of blue Loctite. Right there. That's the medium strength. Because you do not want these things coming loose. Okay, and before we go and tighten anything down, you just want to spin right around, put all the bolts in, then tighten them up. Got them all Loctited. Now, just take and tighten them up good, and that'll work. Okay, there's one. Now I got 3 more to do. Alright, you got you sitting back up on top of the final drive. Now, once you get that clutch remounted, just take and push that back on there like that. You'll have that spline pop out. Then take your 1/2 inch, well, first off, put that spacer on there like that. Then you got your 1/2 inch bolt, which I would also recommend putting a little Loctite on this as well, because you do not want that thing coming loose. There we go, a little blue Loctite. Put them in there like that and spin it right down. And for that, you can use your impact. A whole lot faster than doing it by hand. So I'm going to get the impact and we'll get him tightened up. There we go. Oop, come on. Alrighty. That's got him tightened up. Now we're ready to take and put the belts on. Once again, same thing. Well, just like taking it off. No, trying to hold the camera with one hand. Work with the belt. There we go. Take and put the belt on the small pulley on the back side here. For corn, you would jump from the small side up here to the big side. But we're setting it up for soybeans. Same thing. You got your small, got your big. You'll put it for soybeans and or small grains. You'll put it on the big side down here on the front, because this here is the drive, that's the driven. Okay, now we are ready to take and put that upper belt on. Let's see if I can do this one-handed while trying to hold the camera. Come on, get on there. There we go. All right, now it's just a matter of tightening up the idlers, and this job here will be done. Okay, I got this draw bolt popped back in the spring. So now you just take your impact and run the spring up here to that jam nut. There we got it. Grab your crescent wrench along with a 3/4. Just kind of pull that down, tighten that on up, and we're good to go on this side. Now we're back up here on the throat. Same thing, tighten this up. All right, that's got it bottomed out as far as I can go with that deep well. Then take your gear wrench. There is a kind of like a tab right here. You can take it down to that if you want to. I don't. I'll show you about where I take it to once I get it run down here. Right there's about where I run it down to, where this big flat washer's kind of countersunk below this cutout hole right here, and maybe just a little bit more. Feels like the belt needs it, but yeah, like I said, that's about how I go. Okay, just got that jam nut put on there. Then grab your 2 3/4. And tighten them up. Okay guys, well, I'm going to call this an end of the video. I've got to do the same thing right there on the R52, but it's the exact same thing, no different. And an R62 or even an R42, they're all going to be the same. And yeah, at least that gives you an idea and shows you how to rebuild a slip clutch here on the throat. So hey, take care. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time.